Hello, Monday evening. Welcome to North West Tonight with Roger Johnson. Thanks for joining us. Our top story revealed: the region's most dangerous roads as millions of pounds are pledged to improve safety. The Snake Pass between Manchester and Sheffield is one of the roads set to be improved. Also tonight, Liverpool Crown Court has told that Joey Barton crossed the line between free speech and a crime in social media posts. We'll meet the Cheshire man making history by running the length of India after being diagnosed with a brain tumour. After making his mark on cycling, the Manx missile will tell us what's next and the best place in the world to ride a bike.
I still always ride my bike as well, you know, especially when I'm back on the Isle of Man. Like I've always said, always will say it's my favourite place in the world to ride a bike.
On average, 5 families get a knock on the door every day across the UK to tell them that a loved one has died in a road collision. Last year, there were just under 100 fatalities in the northwest and many more serious injuries. The government is spending millions to try to make our most dangerous roads safer, and all week we are going to be looking at the issue of safety on the northwest's roads. And first tonight, our transport correspondent Judy Hobson is here to tell us more about the region's black spots.
Yes, last year 94 people were killed on the region's roads compared to 77 in 2023. But if we include figures for serious injuries, the total last year was 1,761. That's just one fewer than in 2023. In Cheshire, the total killed or seriously injured was 348. In Manchester, it was 266. But just take a look at those figures for Lancashire. 761 last year and 799 the year before, far higher than in any other area in the region. Now, you're more likely to be killed or seriously injured if you're in a car. Last year, the figure was 760. Pedestrians are the next most vulnerable, 400 last year. And this is followed by motorcyclists and then pedal cyclists. But we also have some of the country's most dangerous routes, including the A57 Snake Pass, which links Glossop and Sheffield.
This is one of the most dangerous roads in Britain. The A57 Snake Pass links Glossop with Sheffield. It's well known for its stunning views and poor accident record.
Since 2018 to 2023, there were 5 fatalities on the road, unfortunately, and there was also 62 serious collisions as well as.
The government has now said it will pledge £7.6 million to make Snake Pass safer.
We welcome the funding for Snakes Pass and the improvements to Snakes Pass, and what that looks to do is put up average speed cameras so we can ensure that people are maintaining the correct speed safely along Snakes Pass, but also improve the friction of the surface so that we can reduce skidding on the surface and also put in more protective barriers for motorcyclists along the route as well as.
Another road to receive funding for safety improvements is the A583 Blackpool Road in Lancashire, a key route linking Blackpool and Preston. It'll have reduced speed limits and junction cameras. Other roads with high casualty rates include the A537 Cat and Fiddle Road, Kirkstone Pass and Hardknott Pass in Cumbria. But do motorists here on the Snake Pass think it can be made safer?
When I first did it, when I was about 3 months into driving, people would prop up you like right up, behind you and stuff and trying to overtake you and beeping and flashing at you. So people do take the mick, I think, like going more than 50.
People drive way too fast on it. They can kind of like keep overtaking you.
It's whether people adhere to the speed limits, that's the thing.
The government says it's determined to reduce the numbers of people killed and seriously injured on the region's roads. But over the past few years, the figures have remained stubbornly high.
Yes, so clearly more needs to be done to try and bring those serious accident figures down. Well, tomorrow we're looking at safety on our motorways and major roads. And later this week, the focus switches to support for families affected by road accidents. We'll also look at the rise of 20-mile-per-hour zones in the region and safety surrounding e-scooters.
Judy, thank you very much. Yes, lots of really interesting content to come in the rest of the week, including a gentleman that I met last week who can talk all about the safety and the impact of road traffic collisions. Right, here are some of the other stories making headlines in the North West tonight. And the long-awaited Hillsborough Law is going through its crucial second reading in Parliament this evening. Officially known as the Public Office Accountability Bill, it includes a duty of candour, forcing police and other public servants to tell the truth. The Prime Minister says that it will stop the kind of injustice suffered by the Hillsborough families.
The state subjected those families to endure from the police lies and smears against their loved ones, while the central state, the government, aided and abetted them for years and years and years.
A man who died on a pavement in Bacup at the weekend, prompting a murder inquiry, was a model to Manchester-based agency, and it says that Luke Harden, who you can see in the picture, was respected by everyone he met. Police are questioning a man and a woman aged 26 and 27. A children's home in Oldham, where staff didn't challenge teenagers who vaped and smoked cannabis, has been rated as inadequate. Inspectors say that there were serious and widespread failures at the home run by Cambrian Childcare Limited. It says it's taken action to address Ofsted's concerns. Now, if you've been trying to make a rail journey in the north of the region today, you will know that thousands of passengers have faced severe disruption. That after a train derailed near Shap in Cumbria this morning. All services north of Preston have been suspended since it happened, as Anna Jameson reports.
Derailed at 80 miles per hour. And it was a landslide near the village of Shap, which forced an emergency stop. The train miraculously managed to remain upright.
About 6:12 in the morning or something, I was just sleeping, there was a big screeching sound, and then it just came to a abrupt stop. And then the power went off, the lights were off.
Network Rail says it's investigating after 4 people suffered minor injuries. All 87 passengers and crew were safely evacuated to this nearby hotel.
Very confused. A lot happened very quickly. But I'm just glad that everybody's okay. Even the driver, I spoke to the driver when I was coming off the train. I said to him, he did a really good job.
And it's caused chaos for rail passengers. All trains north of Preston are cancelled.
We're travelling from Liverpool to Kirkcaldy, so it's quite a big journey. But we managed to get from 2 train stations to get here, and then obviously we'll get the replacement bus and that, so hopefully it's not too long.
So I was meant to get a train from Manchester Airport to Alton.
How are you feeling?
To be fair, yeah, I'm just hungry right now. I haven't eaten since last night, so I just want to get home, get to my bed. It's a bit stressed eating, to be fair.
I landed in Manchester this morning to get the 9 o'clock train, but it was cancelled. So I made it to here, and now I'm just waiting for them to find me a bus or a train to Penrith.
You must be shattered.
I'm exhausted, yes, exhausted.
The disruption will continue over the next few days.
We were unable to provide an estimate at this time for when the railway may reopen, but clearly we will be working as hard as we can 24 hours a day to ensure that the railway is restored.
Passengers are asked to check their journey before travel. Anna Jameson, BBC North West Tonight.
Yeah, it goes without saying you need to stay across what's going on. BBC Local Radio, Radio Cumbria, BBC Radio Lancashire and indeed Merseyside, Manchester. They'll all have details tomorrow morning as people try to make journeys. But as we heard, they can't go north of Preston. Right, here are some of the other stories that people are reading this evening from BBC News. And a prankster who infiltrated the Australia Rugby League lineup in Liverpool has appeared in court. Daniel Jarvis from Kent was arrested after the anthems at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. A blue plaque's been unveiled to the King of Clowns in Blackpool. Charlie Caroli made the resort his home after moving from Italy at the start of World War II. And a museum at Castleton in the Peak District is to close at the end of the year. It has occupied a rent-free space in the National Park Visitors Centre for 20 years. You can find out more at bbc.co.uk/local news or on the BBC News app. Now, parents who say that their children have been failed by the education system have staged a protest outside Lancashire County Council. Some say that they've been waiting years for an Education, Health and Care Plan, or an EHCP as they're known, so that their children can get support. And they laid out school shoes to symbolise those whose needs are being ignored, dismissed or misunderstood, as Kelly Foran reports.
All of these shoes
empty, just waiting. They all belong to children who've missed out on school because of their needs, including Theo.
He'll try and eat anything non-edible. So there was constant risk assessments happening, and we put him for an EHCP, and Lancashire County Council breached the legal timeframes of providing us with the EHCP, and he was at home for nearly 2 years with me. I had to give up working.
He is now in a specialist school, but it took 2 years of fighting every hour of every day. The Department of Education told us this government inherited a SEND system, they say, which was on its knees, with thousands of families struggling to get the right support, including Florence, who has full complex needs. Her mum has been homeschooling since 2022.
They was the school shoes. That was the last time she wore them shoes. You know, and I kept hold of them because obviously I didn't want to let go. What parent doesn't want the child to have an education?
She was fined for her daughter's absence.
But even if I say the word school, she just gets so upset and she's got no confidence in learning. She's so bright, you know, and it's just wrong, isn't it? You know, not one shoe fits all.
These shoes each tell a story of a child who should be in school but aren't. Lancashire County Council say they know how difficult the wait for support can be. They say as part of the Lancashire SEND partnership, we've made real progress in improving SEND services, but we know there's more to do.
So I've taken a year off, a career break, to try and sort the high school out for her. She's currently in year 5, working at reception year 1 age. And as soon as I walked in, I started getting emotional because it hits you how much you've actually done for your child and how much we're all doing. It does.
In the meantime, these parents are hoping that their children's school shoes won't just be something that goes to waste. Kelly Foran, BBC North West Tonight in Preston.
Now, the former footballer Joey Barton has been accused of making cutting, caustic and controversial remarks on social media which crossed the line between free speech and a crime. Those were the comments made by prosecutors today at the opening of his trial at Liverpool Crown Court. The 43-year-old denies the charges, and Mairead Smith sent this from court.
The jury of 7 men and 5 women heard that the former footballer, seen here arriving at court this morning, is charged with 12 counts of sending grossly offensive comments on social media to 2 female football pundits and the broadcaster Jeremy Vine with intent to cause distress or anxiety. Jurors were told Mr Barton had a sizable following on X in excess of 2 million, and his comments may well be characterised as cutting, caustic, controversial and forthright. Mr Barton denies all of the charges related to a series of posts made in January and March of last year on the social media site X. In January, he wrote posts in which he compared Enai Aluku and Lucy Ward to serial killers, stating the pair were the Fred and Rose West of football commentary. A later post said, "Get them off the men's football, off the telly, only there to tick boxes." His comments came when the 2 women were involved in ITV's coverage of the Crystal Palace against Everton game in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Joey Barton is also charged with sending grossly offensive communication to the broadcaster Jeremy Vine. He had questioned Mr Barton's posts about the 2 women. The jury heard Joey Barton had replied using a slang term for a paedophile in a number of posts on X directed at Jeremy Vine. Joey Barton denies all of the charges against him, and the trial will continue here at Liverpool Crown Court tomorrow morning.
And that was Mairead Smith reporting for us from Liverpool Crown Court. Right, we've got the weather with Paul Mooney coming up just before the end of the programme. But before that, let's catch up with the sport. Ian is here. We're going to be talking to an Isle of Man sporting legend in just a moment. We are, which is great. And loads of people love cycling, and he is the king of them, really. He's amazing. But let's talk football first. Liverpool seemingly may be perhaps back on track.
Maybe, perhaps, seemingly, yeah. Their bad run finally ended on Saturday, just what they needed, really, Rog, after 4 Premier League defeats in a row, and with Real Madrid to come in the Champions League at Anfield tomorrow night. Continued, meanwhile, as second-place Manchester City saw off Bournemouth 3-1 yesterday. Manchester United start the week in 8th after Ahmad's equaliser gave them a 2-2 draw at Nottingham Forest.
Well, we were disappointed to lose 3-0. I don't think we'd lost by that amount of goals, I think, since I came in. So that was a disappointment. But overall, I thought the performance, I've had a chance to look back at it, performance was fine. Obviously, set pieces play a big part in football. I know that as much as MD always have done. So we have to deal with it a little bit better.
Well, it was an excellent weekend for our 2 championship sides, with 6th-placed Preston North End winning 2-0 at Southampton. Lewis Dobbin with the first for North End there. Meanwhile, Blackburn Rovers made it 2 wins in a row to move out of the relegation zone. Andre Gudjonsson scoring both goals in a 2-0 win at Leicester City. 11 sides from our region are into the FA Cup second-round draw that's getting underway just around now. Among the first-round results, Salford City of League 2 beat League 1 Lincoln City in a penalty shootout. Oldham Athletics' Michael Mellon scored a hat-trick, including that stunner in Latics' fantastic win over Northampton. Of our non-league sides, Altrincham and Chester FC both lost, but Buxton, who we featured on Friday, beat Chatham Town thanks to Conor Kirby's outrageous extra-time winner, while Danny Elliott of Macclesfield FC, who we also heard from on Friday, scored a hat-trick in his side's 6-3 win over AFC Totton. Nice celebrations from Danny as well. In the Women's Super League, Manchester City won, Everton drew and Liverpool lost, while Manchester United are still unbeaten and are 2 points off leaders Chelsea after a 3-2 win at Brighton. Lisa Nalson scoring what proved to be the winner late on there. Now to the Isle of Man's finest. Mark Cavendish, the cycling legend, retired last year at 39 following a sublime summer in which he broke the Tour de France's stage wins record and was awarded a knighthood. I've been speaking to the Manx Missile about his many achievements and what he's been up to in 2025. So Mark Cavendish won it all in cycling, including 35 stages of the Tour de France.
The story is finally complete!
It's among the many achievements detailed in his new book. I see you as very much a reluctant superstar, yet here you are with another book, talking on the TV. How much do you enjoy doing this media stuff, or is it a bit of a chore?
Yeah, I think many sports people, they do their sport because they love the sport, don't they? And the stuff that comes with that is obviously part and parcel of the game, you know. I'm very lucky I got to ride my bike for 20 years as a job, you know, and because of that I got a book I could write like in this year after I've retired, and I'll be able to kind of reflect on that. So we are now talking because that book's out now. Yeah. Believed by Mark Cavendish.
And Mark Cavendish has got this one.
Olympic medalist, 3 times track world champion, BBC Sports Personality of the Year. He's certainly earned a rest.
You know, I've been enjoying this first year. I'm still working, I'm still travelling a lot. But I got some holiday this year. I was in the south of France with the family. I was always racing in August. But being able to just chill, like throw the kids in the pool and go for walks and stuff. I know, you know, we don't live in the real world as sports people, you know, and adapting to that is difficult, but I still always ride my bike as well, especially when I'm back on the Isle of Man. Like have always said, always will say, it's my favourite place in the world to ride a bike.
To the rest of the world, you're this sporting superstar, Sir Mark Cavendish. To the Isle of Man, you just Mark, you know, there
That's what I love most about the Isle of Man. Like, everyone's like, I get the sense that everyone's super proud of what I've done, you know, and and they say, oh, great race last week, but it's just like that. I'm just Mark. It's been great to be back like loads this year. It's beautiful. Waking up and seeing the sea on a morning is something that has always been with me from growing up there, and I'm a proud Manxman as well, you know. Obviously everybody knows the Isle of Man TT, but to know it as a place that produces cyclists and sports people is it's pretty special for this little 400 square kilometre island, you know.
I went watching the TT I've been a couple of times, and to see it up close, it's absolutely remarkable. Are you going to get a chance to do things like that?
I was there this year. I was
right.
back in the TT this year. I haven't been back for a number of years because it was just before the Tour de France, and I couldn't train during those couple of weeks. I was back this year and I had tears in my eyes the first couple of days. It was incredible, you know.
Have you got used to being Sir Mark?
It was appointed by His Majesty before I'd won the 35th, so it was irregardless of if I'd done it. I don't use it that often, but it's an incredible title I have that I'm proud of.
Does it not give you any special privileges at all? You get your own parking space at Aldi or something?
In all honesty, I'm like, I'm proud of it as a recognition. I don't think it puts me above anybody else.
Last year, the raceway at the National Sports Centre in Douglas was renamed in his honour. How proud were you when you look back on that as named after you forever?
The place where I started racing, like for that to be carrying my name now, that's something pretty special, you know. I know it's not just me that started my career there. As long as I can remember, there was 200 kids down there on a Tuesday night, and there's still 200 kids down there on a Tuesday night, and I think it's quite important to keep that.
Could there be another Sir Mark Cavendish, be it from within your family or some little kid from the Isle of Man?
I'd hope so. Definitely got the best tools, the best place to ride a bike in the world, so there shouldn't be any excuse not to be.
Do you think it is the best place to ride a bike?
I really do, yeah. Like, okay, the weather's not great a lot of the time, but that kind of toughens you up. Not like tough, but it really does like harden you, you know. If it rained, for me, when it rained in Europe, it was never like, oh, it's raining. It was just kind of normal. When it was sunny, it was a bonus, do you know?
I wrote this down yesterday. What's next for Sir Mark Cavendish? I'm a Celebrity, Strictly Come Dancing, opening a bicycle repair shop. Any of those? Or none?
Do you know what? I don't know. I like to continue in the sport, you know. So the closest thing will be the opening a bicycle repair shop. But I've grown up in the sport. I love the sport. As you can see, I love the sport, and I've tried to do everything I can to be good for the sport, and I'd like to continue trying to do that.
What a guy. I wonder if he will open that bike.
They'll be queuing up to get him to put the chain back on their bike, won't they?
Yeah, no, very quickly, Roger's just been jotting down these FA Cup fixtures. Buxton, we featured there, have got Cheltenham away in the next round. Macclesfield FC, we featured there, have got Slough.
That's second round,
well. Yeah, there you go. That's the next round of the FA Cup round 2. Staying with sporting endeavours, and a man from Cheshire is taking on a record ultra run, becoming the first person to run the length of India.
Yeah, his name's Jack Faint. What makes his challenge even tougher is he's been diagnosed with a slow-growing brain tumour. But he told Phil Cunliffe a little earlier that he hopes to finish his 2,000 miles or so journey in less than 80 days.
Well, Jack, day 65, how has it gone?
Really tough day today, really harsh conditions, very hot. We've only got about 420 kilometres left. We were supposed to finish in 80 days, but it looks like we're going to finish in about 73, so about a week early.
Go! Woo! Go on, Jackie boy.
What has been the biggest challenge?
I'd say the Himalayas, the first section of the journey, going up and over some of the highest mountain passes in the world, was really, really difficult. And my shin, sort of the tendon that connects your ankle to your shin, just got incredibly inflamed. And the next morning, I just couldn't walk. And then over days 13, 14, 15, it was a mixture of jog, walk, until I could fully jog again. We've stayed on pretty much the same highway, which has been Highway 44, it's called, which takes you from the north all the way down to the south. So the scenery has been pretty epic.
Why are you putting yourself through something like this, Jack?
Hopefully to inspire people that have been through similar diagnoses that it's absolutely not the end. It's just the end of a chapter, and it's the beginning of what can be quite a beautiful journey.
What is the long-term prognosis?
Neurosurgeons have said to me that people with a similar diagnosis might live an extra 10, 15, 20 years. But I believe with various lifestyle changes, I'll be able to extend that for many, many, many more years. I've never really suffered from any symptoms as it has slowly continued to grow. I think we're probably moving into a space where I might need treatment soon. The last MRI scan wasn't fabulous, so we'll see what happens. I'm really at peace with whatever comes next.
Having set off in September in the Himalayas, to be so close now, you're going to see the beach, you're going to see the Indian Ocean when you get to the end. What will that be like? Just put that into words for us.
I can't wait to see my girlfriend Bron, who's going to be there at the finish line. Mum, Dad, both my sisters, a group of friends are all going to be there. And then we've got another 4 or 5 days of celebrations in a little beach village called Coverland, where we're going to spend some time together. So a lot of special memories to come for sure.
And we wish Jack all the best. He was talking to Phil Cunliffe. Right, let's get the weather. Here's Paul Mooney.
Good evening. The weather over the next few days stays very unsettled, very changeable. It will be wet and windy at times, but it will stay on the mild side. Why is it so changeable? Well, low pressure in charge of things. That's dominating the weather chart. It's feeding these weather fronts in, keeping things very unsettled. And that low pressure keeps weather fronts right over the top of us for the coming night. So the rain will be on and off. It will be heavy at times, especially in the north. There's a Met Office yellow warning out for Cumbria right through the night and into tomorrow morning. That's where the rain will be heaviest and most persistent. It's a very mild night. Temperatures stay well in double figures, but it's a gusty south to southwesterly wind as well. Into tomorrow, we start off essentially wet and windy. It's a slow but steady improvement through the day. The rain becomes more patchy, more intermittent. Start to see some drier slots, maybe even a tiny bit of brightness breaking through from time to time. It's another gusty one. Southerly winds, gusts in excess of 30 miles an hour in places, but it is mild. Temperatures tomorrow, well, they'll peak around about 15, maybe 16 degrees Celsius through the afternoon. Then if we jump forward to Wednesday, in essence it's more of the same. A lot of cloud around in general, outbreaks of rain for most of us on and off through the day, perhaps a bit drier at times through the afternoon, but I don't think we'll see much in the way of brightness. Again, the winds are still coming up from the south, maybe not quite as gusty on Wednesday, but every bit as mild. Those temperatures back up to 15 or 16 degrees Celsius. So low pressure continues to dominate then as we head through the middle part of the week. Towards Thursday and Friday, you'll see the lines opening up in the chart. The wind's a bit lighter, the rain perhaps a bit more intermittent at times. So after a few wet and windy days, the winds start to ease as we head through the latter part of the week. Lighter southerly winds, still mild, but temperatures just starting to take a little bit of a dip towards the end of the week and into next weekend. So that's how it's looking for the week.
Interesting comments on the issue of road safety. We were discussing it earlier. We'll have it all week. The gist of most of them being roads aren't dangerous. It's the way people drive on them. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Good night.